My name is Larasati. I'm from Indonesia. I'm asking a question on behalf of the YCili online audience. So this question is from my friend Siti Murzayana from Indonesia also. She asked about this. Actually, America is a very big country, consists of various community of different tribe, religion, and also race. And how do you unite them into live peacefully side by side in accordance of the United States motto, E pluribus unum?
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you very much. Well, you're exactly right that the United States historically, unless you're a Native American, like those who Mimi met in Montana, you came from someplace else. Those of you who visited the United States, if you walk down the streets of Los Angeles or New York, you don't know what an American looks like because Americans could be anything. Yeah, they could be any color, any religion, with a heritage from countries all around the world. And that's our great strength, because one of the things that I strongly believe is that when people from different cultures interact, then you're always learning something, because people bring new ideas and new traditions. And that's why in our big cities in America, you can get really good food from everywhere. And then sometimes people come up with new food that's a mix of different foods. The same with music. If you think about rock and roll or hip hop or any American, or jazz, any American music, it's a blend of all these different traditions. And that's part of what makes us unique. Recently we all saw the Olympics. And, not to brag, but the United States did very well at the Olympics. Now, part of this is because we're a big country, and we're a wealthy country, so we can provide training and opportunities for our athletes. But if you look at our athletes, there are two things that stand out. First of all, more than half of the medals we won were from women. And so we passed a law a long time ago that said, if you give sports opportunities to boys, you have to give them to girls too. It's called Title IX. And as a consequence, we've developed a really excellent program for women's athletics. The second thing is, because we have people that came from everywhere, we have people of all different types for every sport. So we have really tall people to play basketball or to swim. We have little people for gymnastics, right? We have genetically, for whatever sport, we have people who fit the sport, right? And that's a good metaphor for why I think we've been very successful. Now, the challenge we have, because we are people from so many different places, is that sometimes we've had to deal with racism or conflict between races, ethnic groups, new immigrants, and that especially becomes a problem when the economy is not doing well, and so people feel stressed. And typically when people feel stressed, they turn on others who don't look like them. It's easy. That's true everywhere in the world. When things are going good, everybody's okay. And then when suddenly things are harder, people start saying, you know what, this is the fault of the Chinese, or this is the fault of the Jews, or this is the fault of the, Houthi, or whatever, it's the, the Javanese, or the, so one of the things that we try to do is to make sure that we're continually reminding ourselves that what makes an American is not your race or your skin color, but what makes an American is a set of beliefs, a creed, our belief that all men are created equal, our belief that our Constitution is the law of the land, and that everybody has to follow it, and everybody is equal before the law. So that if you're a president or you're a janitor, in the court of law, you should be treated the same. We try to promote the notion that the state cannot choose sides in a religion. We have a very religious country, but part of the reason America is very religious is because we don't let the state establish one religion, so everybody's free to choose the religion that they practice. And so these ideas, these principles, are the things that need to be constantly strengthened and reinforced. And I think that ultimately that's where we need to go as a human race. And this is why sometimes we talk about issues like human rights or freedom of the press or freedom of speech. And I'll be honest, everywhere we go, including here in ASEAN, sometimes people say, why are the Americans talking about these issues? This is none of their business. They shouldn't be meddling in other people's business. And also, America's not perfect. Look, it still has racial discrimination, and it still has its own problems. It should worry about its own problems. And I agree with that in the sense that we definitely do still have problems we have to work on. We still have discrimination. We still have situations where women are not treated equally. But I think that over the long term, the only way that humans are going to be able to work together and interact and prosper and deal with big problems is if we are able to see what we have in common with each other and treat everybody with dignity and respect. And that means that we have to have some principles that are not just based on our nationality. They're not just based on our tribe or our religion or our ethnicity. Otherwise, at some point, we're not going to be able to get along. And we'll have more war and we'll have more conflict because that's been human history. And this is why we talk about these issues when we travel to other countries as well. It's not because we think we're better than other people. It's because we have learned from our own experience that if you don't respect all people, or you don't respect all religions, but also make sure that no matter how religious you are, you respect other people to have a different idea. We've learned that if that doesn't happen, then we have conflict. And if you look at what's happening now in the Middle East, for example, that's not the problem in the Middle East is not primarily a problem of the West versus Islam. The problem increasingly is Shia thinking that Sunnis are following the wrong path and vice versa. And, in Syria, if you're an Alawite or you're a Christian or then you're worried about what the Sunni Muslims are going to do. And that, the same in Africa, where, a place like Rwanda, where in the matter of just a few months, you saw a country kill hundreds of thousands of people just because of those differences. And that's been true in all parts of the world. So we have to fight against that, and that means that we have to be able to promote principles that rise above any individual religion, nationality, race. And that's what we've been trying to promote. Not always successfully. Not everybody in America agrees with me on this, by the way. Yeah, I'll leave it at that.